Coming up on the pod, he puts the capital K in cannabis. We have Cannabis Keenan back in studio as we review the sci-fi feature, Starship Troopers.
If you want a movie review, look no further than these dudes. You got Real Buzz Rob on the mic, you got Cannabis Keenan, he's alright. Caitlin is giving all she can give, and Calvin doesn't even know where he is. This is Real Buzz Takes with the Real Buzz Crew.
Welcome to another edition of Real Buzz Takes. We are the Real Buzz 2. I'm Real Buzz Rob.
Guys, how do you get a job here, there fuckface?
And to my left, we have Keenan, a.k.a. Keenan the Cannibal, a.k.a. Cannabis Keenan, a.k.a. Keenan the Barbarian, Keenan Robertson.
G-boobs are really gigantic. I mean, if you Google G-boobs, you'll find some big boobs, okay?
Good morning, Romania. What is that from?
G-boobs.
G-boobs?
So I've been having a harder time finding good drops from feature film audio. So I found online that a fan of another podcast I listened to took all the drops that they use that I find funny, and I'm just starting to use them. I guess I should credit them. Those are both YMH drops with Tom Segura. That's Tom Segura's dad, and he'll have him on the show, and he just he's a really sweet guy, and he'll talk about anything, but he's like, J-Popes.
That's good stuff. Well, yeah, shout out to that podcast, and thanks for listening to this one, Romania.
Oh, we should learn how to say something in Romania.
I keep meaning to Google it every week, and then I forget. So.
I think even if we did Google it, I don't think we'd be able to say anything. I think we'd have to do that audio feature where they say the word, and we'd still probably fuck it up pretty bad.
Yeah, but, I'll do my best for next week. No promises, though.
Yep. Well,
Nostrovia.
Is that Romanian?
No, that's Russian. That probably just I probably just lost all of our Romanian listeners right there.
Yeah, is it the Baltics where all that shit is like Romania?
We'll say it, yeah.
The Baltics.
We'll agree with that.
Yeah, sure. So the movie, as I said, we are reviewing today is Starship Troopers. Very cult film, sci-fi. Launched Denise Richards' career pretty well.
Really? This was her first thing?
No. But it was big for her.
Okay.
The release date was 11/7/97. The director was Paul Verhoeven. We have done just one. We've done one Paul Verhoeven movie before this on the podcast. And before this, he directed Total Recall, RoboCop, Basic Instinct, and Showgirls.
Yeah, so that explains the shower scene in this one. And the nudity was tastefully done in this movie.
Yeah, well, more so than it was in Showgirls.
Yeah, no, it wasn't really that tasteful. I'm being sarcastic. But there was a lot of it, so you could see it.
Again, as a male viewer, it didn't bother me.
It didn't bother me one little bit.
They were very good-looking breasts.
Yeah, and some good-looking butts in there, too,
in
the shower.
Those dudes had some cowboys' butts drive me nuts kind of butts,
A lot of shaved ass going on in there.
Yeah, dude. There's no way that those asses look that pristine without a little bit of work.
Yeah,
not just working out, like some waxing.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was some makeup on those asses. Like those were. I guarantee you, those were like professional ass doubles, which is a real thing.
Yeah. Oh, I bet it was. Yeah.
After this, he's known for. I wrote Showgirls down twice. Oh, that's right, because Showgirls was right after this. Sorry, and then the movie, the Kevin Bacon horror feature, Hollow Man.
Yeah, I never saw that, but I remember seeing the trailer for it, for whatever that's worth. Isn't he invisible or some shit?
Yeah, Kevin Bacon is the scientist that figures out this serum that makes him invisible. And believe it or not, he starts doing some fucked up shit once he can make himself invisible. He grabs Elizabeth Shue by the pussy. I remember that.
Jesus Christ.
In the movie, he does. You just see her skirt go up, and he's invisible. He's like, you want some of this? And she's like, oh, Kevin.
Really?
Nah, she's not receptive to it.
Pork.
Yeah, she's not receptive to it at all. So, that's
kind of a creepy thing to do.
Some people do that not invisible.
Yeah, exactly. That's the former presidential handshake, but not anymore. We ain't fucking around with that shit anymore.
Not anymore. Okay, cast. Cats. This is a great name. Casper Van Dien as Johnny Rico.
What a name, dude. What a name.
That's going to make the all Real Buzz name list for sure. It's up there.
Oh, yeah, and might be the best real name that we've had. I know that we've talked about some cool, character names, Chev Chelios and all that stuff.
Great name.
Casper Van Dien, that's a pretty badass name.
Yeah, he sounds like he's some sort of a lord in some Baltic country, or maybe Germany or something. I don't know. He sounds like he's a Dutch. No, what's the opposite of a duchess?
A duke.
A duke, thank you. Sounds
Yeah.
like he's some kind of a duke.
Yeah. Casper Van Diem.
Yeah, he owns some land that was given to him because he has royal blood, some shit like that.
Yeah.
Denise Richards as Cameron. They say it's funny.
I thought it was Carmen.
It is Carmen. I misread that, and I wrote it. I wrote down Cameron, and it is Carmen.
It is Carmen.
Yeah, Denise Richards as Carmen Ibanez. There's no accent mark above anything, so Ibanez, I think, is what it is.
They say it a couple times, but I don't know. When they spelled it, I was like, oh, that's what they're saying?
Yeah, whatever. It's all these white people have Hispanic last names and live in what now is considered a Hispanic country, but they're all very white.
Hello, Buenos Aires. You know that movie?
I do.
You were in that play in
I
high
was.
school, or that musical,
I
right?
was. I was Juan Perón.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Eva Perón. No, whatever. That's
Yeah,
the
man.
only song I remember is Buenos Aires.
I don't remember any of them.
Hello. Anyway.
Jake Busey as Ace Levy. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, whatever. Ace, cool name.
Yeah, and I wrote down Ave. I got to look what I'm typing. And then Neil Patrick Harris is Carl Jenkins, which finally one of the white people has a white name.
Yeah. Well, Ace is Ace Levy.
Yeah, but that's almost even a little spicy for a white guy, you know?
Yeah. Carl Perkins.
Carl Jenkins.
Oh, Jenkins.
Perkins is good too, though.
Yeah.
Honorable mention to Amy Smart as pilot cadet Stack Lumbreiser. That's her name in the movie.
She's stacked.
She is.
In subsequent films of hers, yeah.
For having a name that's never spoken in the film, but you see her several times, it's just what a choice for a name.
I don't think you see enough of her. And we talked
agree.
about it on the Cranked podcast, too, but I fucking love Amy Smart.
She's great.
I'm a big fan of hers.
Yeah, I think
Whatever happened to her?
I don't know.
She probably does some stuff these days that I don't know about.
There's so much media released on so many different platforms. It's hard to keep up with people. There's just so much content to consume. People are working. There's just more to watch. So
Yeah.
I'm not watching something unless I know it's good. Like that's how much content there is.
No, you're watching Den of Thieves for the 37th time.
Well, Den of Thieves is good.
Yeah, fair enough.
I love Den of Thieves.
That's a callback, though. That's a callback.
It is.
Yeah, go back and listen. You have to listen to figure out which episode that's from.
It is a common practice in comedic timing, or comedy in general. Callback. Anyway, Hank from Breaking Bad, or Dean Norris, as his name was never said. He's just commanding officer. But Amy Smart's name was never said, and she's pilot cadet Stack Lumbreiser.
Yeah,
It's a weird fucking name. She could have just been co-pilot.
Old Verhoeven or whatever the director's name was really liked her.
Yeah, I get it.
Or maybe because isn't this based off a book or some shit?
It is.
So maybe that character was something bigger in the book. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, or maybe she was supposed to show up more in subsequent sequels. but
Yeah,
Didn't.
I thought it was based off a comic book.
No, it's an actual book.
It's an actual book, though. I guess
It's one of those sci-fi nerd books. And then finally, last but not least, Michael Ironside as Gene Rachek.
Oh yeah, okay. The lieutenant. or
I'd
whatever.
expect any of you to do the same for me.
I want to give a shout out to Clancy Brown too, as the drill instructor or Pip or whatever the fuck.
Yep.
He ends up becoming the guy that takes down the brain at the end.
Yeah, he demotes himself to
I'm
private,
private
to do
now,
so.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to Casper Van Dien.
What are we doing? Credits.
Yeah, credits
Yeah,
now.
okay,
So
yeah.
I thought I skipped
Sorry.
something, but I didn't. No,
Yeah,
you're good.
no.
Casper Van Dien, or as I like to call him, poor man's Chris Pine. Before this, just known for umpteen amount of guest spots on TV. He did a TV movie called Backroads to Vegas and another TV movie called James Dean: A Race with Destiny.
Was he James Dean?
Yes,
Okay.
which I could see it.
I could see it. He's got a very chiseled jawline.
Very handsome.
Yeah.
Very symmetrical in the face.
Yeah.
Stunning features.
Doesn't do a good job at yelling though. Like
No.
that's when he was the least believable.
He's not a natural yeller.
Yeah, old yeller.
After this, known for Sleepy Hollow, Dracula.
What? Oh,
yeah.
He's the dad.
Yep.
It
took me a second. He's
he's
like
the asshole.
Yeah, the guy who's trying to come after Johnny Depp's gal.
Yeah,
Which is Christina Ricci.
What's that character's name? Anyway, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He plays like the Gaston character in Sleepy Hollow, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
After the Dracula 3000, which I don't know, whatever. This one looked interesting.
What happened to 1 through 2,999?
Damn, they made a lot of these.
Fuck.
This franchise must make just print money.
I kind of want to get into Dracula, but there's like 3,000 of them, so I don't know if I have the time.
Dude, they must have started like with year one and then just made one every year.
Shit.
This next one sounds interesting. It's Sharktopus versus Werewolf.
Sharktopus?
Sharktopus. So I imagine it's a hybrid between a shark and an octopus.
Okay.
Sharktopus versus Werewolf.
I thought it was shark space 2 space puss. Sharktopus. Oh, wow.
No.
Anyway, Sharktopus. I need to slow down on the vodka, man.
Sorry, man. And then lastly, known for Alita Battle Angel, which was that Robert Rodriguez movie that I just had no interest in.
Oh, that's new, right? That's pretty new.
Yeah, fairly new. A couple of years, maybe a year and a half.
Yeah, I had no interest in seeing it, really, but...
Because Christoph Waltz was in that.
Okay. I feel like anything that he's in that's not Tarantino, though, I don't enjoy him as much.
I agree with that.
Even James Bond.
Yeah, he was fine.
Yeah, but he
he's
kind of needs Tarantino to direct him.
Tarantino really brings out the best kind of, I don't know, the best Christoph Waltz-isms that come out of him. Tarantino can usually channel those.
The Alita Battle Angel, I remember the trailers, and I think it's like a mix of real humans
and CGI.
And then her face is like
CGI.
super big or something.
Yeah, she looks like an anime
it's just
character.
Weird, yeah. I was like, there's no way I can spend 2 hours watching that.
And she's allegedly a battle angel, which whatever the fuck that means.
I probably does some badass shit. It's probably like Valkyrie, Tessa Thompson in the Thor movies. She's a badass in those, you know.
Or as Caitlin says, Valkyrie. She says Valkyrie.
Well, maybe
I say
that's
Valkyrie. Potato.
I kind of want to watch that movie with Tom Cruise. I've never seen it.
Oh, yeah, the one that was the plot within the Nazi party to overthrow Hitler.
Yeah. I watched Jojo Rabbit, and he referenced it. I was like, I should watch Valkyrie.
Jojo Rabbit.
I didn't finish it.
I didn't either.
I put it on before I went to bed. I've been meaning to finish it.
Did the same thing, and I was just like, okay,
Yeah.
it's fine.
I like Taika Waititi a lot, though. Anyway.
Yeah,
moving on.
absolutely. Yeah. Denise Richards, before this known for the one feature she was in before this was Loaded Weapon 1, which is, of course, the spoof of Lethal Weapon, you know, those action movies.
It probably had Leslie Nielsen in it.
Yeah, dude, Wrongfully Accused is one of the funniest fucking movies. It's so good.
I had that in Men's Room. Men's Room.
She did a movie called Tammy and the T-Rex before this, and then a bunch of TV spots. After this, we're doing this one on the podcast. I don't know if it's next, but it's coming up soon. After this, she was in Wild Things.
So I thought Wild Things was before this.
No, right after.
Okay.
And that movie is fucking awesome.
Never seen the movie, but I've seen a certain scene in it before.
Oh, Dad, all over Pornhub. No lie, I actually, once I saw it, she was in this, I'm like, I'm going to go watch that scene on Pornhub. It's just really good.
Just check it out.
Yeah, there's
her and Nev Campbell.
Yeah, the pool scene with her and Nev Campbell where they make out and she's topless. And then the threesome scene where there's some intense groping action with Matt Dillon and Denise Richards. And my God, those are obviously store-bots, but they look great.
Yeah. Well, once you get to what she's done after this, once you continue, I'll finish it. Yeah, just say what she's done.
Also, after this, known for Undercover Brother, very underrated movie that's very funny that could never be made today.
Not at all. My grandma took me and my cousin Calvin to see that movie in theaters. Mm-hmm. And my grandma... God love her because she sat through the whole thing, but she was not enjoying a moment of it.
I could get that.
I love that fucking movie.
I do too. And the thing is, I hope it's not racist to say that because everyone kind of makes fun of themselves in that movie in regards to race. But it's just one of those things where, you know, there's no malice behind the intent. It still would never be made today. But it's a joke. They're being funny. And yeah, there's some stereotypical shit on there. Of course, that's the joke behind it.
That's what they're doing that shit on purpose.
Yeah, there's no malice behind it. It's just supposed to be funny. And we're not saying anything about anyone. We're saying, hey, we all have our little stereotypes that people like to say. And that movie's so funny. That was like me and my dad's favorite movie from the time I was 12 to 16.
Don't touch my black fuzzy balls. It's like his dashboard things. And she's the white devil, and it is
the white she-devil.
White she-devil, yeah.
Drop the mayonnaise.
She's so hot in that.
Slowly.
Chris Kattan's, anyway. But she was also in The World Is Not Enough. That's what I was getting to.
Yeah. That's 99 was when that came out, so that's after too. Scary Movie 3, The World Is Not Enough. And then because she was married to Charlie Sheen, she had spots on 2.5 Men for a while. And that show we did on FX called Anger Management.
Yeah, I remember because
Selma Blair was in it with him.
Yeah, after he got kicked off at 2.5 Men for his Tiger Blood shit, FX was like, you know what? Come party with us.
Just
man.
be that same character.
Yeah,
and we'll just make it a different show around it.
Yeah, I think I caught an episode here or there. It was all right.
Yeah, I will say Charlie Sheen He's a strange guy. I think he's sober now. Been sober for a while. He's doing good.
Still a weirdo, but yeah, good for him.
A little bit of an oddball, definitely. I mean, obviously was under the influence of drugs when he did a lot of this shit, so understandable.
He got arrested and sent to the Aspen, Pitkin County Jail or
Yeah.
whatever, when me and Michigan and Mike were in Aspen for New Year's Eve.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, we could have gone and asked to visit him probably, but
Yeah, the HIV positive thing, I mean, they understand how to treat that now, so that doesn't seem to be a huge issue for him.
yeah, he's got tiger blood.
He's got tiger blood.
Yeah.
Jake Busey.
Great teeth.
I wrote that down. I'd like to think that the Busey teeth are all genetic and that he could carry on
Oh,
that legacy.
are they super fake?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think
they
they're
just
genetic.
have huge
I
teeth.
have to assume it's genetic.
It would be way funnier if they weren't, and Jake was like, well, I got to get the big teeth.
Yeah, my dad's got him. I got to get him.
He looks so much like his dad.
I could see Gary Busey though being like, Jake, you gotta get the teeth.
Yeah.
You're 15 now. It's time I give you the teeth.
It's our trademark, Jake, okay? The
That's a
Busey
bad
teeth.
That's a good Busey. My Busey's bad. But
You could land a plane on those things. No, but that's the thing about Jake Busey is you could put him in a lineup of every character in this movie, and a random person would be like, hey, you know who Gary Busey is? Yeah, I do. Which one of this is his kid? It's like, it's pretty fucking apparent.
yeah, absolutely.
There's not like a second choice.
I really enjoyed him in this movie.
Oh, he was
too.
great.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to hate him. Like, this is going to say. He was really good.
I thought he was going to play like that
A
douchey
villainous,
rival
yeah.
character the whole time, but no, he's just, and he kind of does a little bit at
the beginning, a little
but
bit.
yeah, no, he's really just one of the dudes.
Before this, Jake is known for Twister, Tales from the Crypt, and that movie Contact with Matthew McConaughey and
Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster.
That's a good movie.
I'll agree to disagree. The ending really pissed me off.
I liked Contact.
I don't hate it. That's just after this, known for that weird Drew Barrymore movie, Home Fries, Enemy of the State, Identity, Christmas with the Cranks, and another one we're going to do on the podcast, Roadhouse 2, Last Call.
What? There's a second one?
I had no idea.
So there's one you missed that he did before that I like a lot.
Okay.
It's got Jeremy Piven in it. It's called PCU.
I saw that. I didn't recognize it, so I didn't write it down.
It's a 90s movie about like college.
Wait, I've
and-
seen this. Jeremy Piven plays this guy in college.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's not Animal House because he's not in a fraternity. But
Ish.
he's going against the system. It's PCU.
He's like the guy who
so
coordinates like social stuff on campus the whole time. And
he's hanging out with the froshes and the pre-frosh, and that's what they say. But Jake Busey plays one of the stoner characters, and they play like ultimate frisbee.
remember
And
this.
it's a movie that makes me it makes me super nostalgic for the 90s. It just reeks of the 90s, and I fucking love that movie. So shout out to PCU.
There's another movie with Ben Affleck about college, and it's got fuck. Never mind. It's not worth it.
Okay.
It's called Glory Days. DAZE.
Okay.
And it's got not Turd Ferg.
Oh, it's a National Lampoon's movie?
I don't know. Maybe.
I think maybe I've seen that.
It's Ben Affleck before he got his teeth fixed. They look real nasty in this movie.
Oh,
he
yeah?
has a disgusting mustache. It's like a
Really?
trash stash. It's not a good look for Ben. It's before he did Good Will Hunting. But who's that other guy? Shit. French Stewart.
Oh, yeah. Jeez, French Stewart.
Yeah, French Stewart's in it. He's his roommate.
All right, I don't think I've seen it, but we should do PCU on the podcast sometime.
Okay. Neil Patrick Harris. Before this, known for just Doogie Howser, MD. That's what he's known for.
Was this his first movie?
No, but it's the first well-known movie.
Okay.
After this, known for also Undercover Brother.
Yes.
How I Met Your Mother, of course. Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. Harold and Kumar Go to Guantanamo Bay.
Man, he's so funny in those Harold and Kumar movies.
He's great.
Yeah.
He's very funny.
I thought you were gay, man. Yeah, gay for that pussy. So good.
And also in both Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, so 1 and 2, Gone Girl, and he's going to play an integral role in the next Matrix sequel. It's coming out, Matrix 4.
Really? Mm-hmm. NPH in, yeah.
Yeah. No, oh, God damn it. No Lawrence Fishburne, no Larry Fishburne, but we've got Neil Patrick Harris.
Okay. See, I feel like I'm close enough with Neil Patrick Harris for whatever reason. Not like that I follow him at all, but I guess just from the Harold and Kumar movies that I refer to him as NPH. I was texting Sam because
I can do that, yeah.
I'd never seen Starship Troopers before. I'm sure we'll get to that in the rundown.
Oh, yeah.
But I was like, oh, shit, Denise Richards is in this. And I said somebody else, and then I was like, and NPH. She was like, who?
Neil
And I was
Patrick
like,
Harris.
how do you not know?
Doogie
Neil Patrick
Howser.
Harris. Yeah.
Child doctor.
Yeah. But anyway, shout out.
Also, yeah, so did that. All right, moving on to net worths.
2 Chainz.
We will start with Casper Van Dien.
Man.
I'll give you a hint. It's probably more than you think.
Oh, okay. Well, he just did Alita Battle Angel, right?
Yeah, I don't think he had a big role in it, though.
Yeah, but
I'm almost entirely convinced the majority of his net worth comes from this movie and just syndication on television.
yeah, because it plays all the time.
All
on,
the
like,
time.
Sci-fi, TNT, everything.
Very popular.
Yeah. It's a surprise that I never saw this before.
Yeah,
like,
so-
how did I go this far in life?
Something tells me he's not getting a bunch of that cheddar from Sharktopus versus Werewolf.
Sharktopus. That makes me laugh every time. All right, I'm going to guess, because you said it's more than I think, I'll guess 20 million.
Oh, no, not that much.
Okay.
7.
Okay. Well, I was going to guess 5.
Oh, sorry. No, I
But,
apologize.
okay.
I thought you were going to guess, like, I don't know, 500,000, because that's what I thought.
I was going to say like a range to 5-ish, but because Alita Battle Angel. Because I thought he didn't do shit after this, but you said
Well,
something.
he really didn't.
I remember him in Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah.
He definitely gets residuals off of that every Halloween.
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
a paycheck for him no matter what on Halloween.
All right, Denise Richards.
Oh, I don't know. That's a tough one. 15?
Very good. 12.
15 million? Okay.
12,
well,
not bad. And that's fine. Yeah. And we talked about this a little bit earlier. I was surprised she didn't take off more because she's a pretty decent actor and she is very photogenic and stunning to watch. But I guess once she married Charlie Sheen and had a couple of kids, then.
So just to clarify, when you say she didn't take off more, you mean like her career?
Oh, correct. Yes. No, she took off plenty in the movie she's in.
That's what I thought you were talking about. Like, I'm surprised she didn't show her titties in this movie.
She did in the next movie, and they are fantastic. Now I just want to see some ham wallet. Let's get that beef.
Jesus Christ.
Let's get that beef on screen, Denise.
Jesus
That
Christ.
Denise beef
Yeah, Denise Beeve. I'll build a dam around that.
with my mouth. Okay.
Anyway.
Jake Busey.
Oh, fuck. 7?
1.5. I thought it'd be worth more.
Really?
Yeah.
Nah, well, yeah, I haven't seen him in anything in 20 years.
This is the biggest role I've seen him play. Like he actually had, not quite a main role, but close.
I like the movie Identity, and he's just like in a wheelchair the whole
Side
time.
character on that. Yeah. That movie's good though.
Yeah, I feel like,
The rewatchability's not great because once you've seen the ending, it's like, oh well, I know what's happening.
yeah, it's good to see Jake Busey play like a likable character though, because I
He
feel
never
like
does.
he gets typecast based on his big teeth and his weird, dad. That he gets typecast as a bad guy.
You mean his terrifying face?
He's got a terrifying face.
His face
I didn't
is-
want to say it,
his
but
face
he's,
is terrifying.
He's a very menacing looking
Yes,
man.
his face is terrifying.
So it was cool to see him like playing the violin and shit like that.
Like
in
if
this
that guy
movie.
approaches you at a bar, you're like you mace him before he speaks to you. I mean, he's
Yeah.
he's very intimidating looking and terrifying. Like
and his spiky hair doesn't fucking help anything.
No,
either,
it doesn't. It's like if what you imagine a serial killer's face would look like without him having to tell you he's a serial killer. Jake Busey.
Yeah. So this and PCU, he's like a likable stoner in PCU. So
Yeah, I kind of remember that now. Neil Patrick Harris.
uh,
It's probably more than you think.
see, I mean, he's got to be worth some Scotto
He got a couple of fazools.
Fazools, because fucking How I Met Your Mother, that's huge.
Exactly. So you're probably on the right track.
Doogie Howser, he's been making money since he was a kid.
Yeah.
And he's like on Broadway and shit like that, right?
Yeah, he's
He
hardworking.
hosts
Guy.
shit.
Yeah.
He's like Barbra Streisand. He can do it all.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. He's a triple threat.
I will say, I don't know, 150?
Little 50.
Okay.
No, but 50.
All right.
I would have thought 30, but then I thought, oh yeah, How I Met Your Mother. That
Yeah.
thing's that's like Seinfeld money.
Yeah, that's I've never watched it, but it's a huge the people that have, I've been surprised with the people that have told me they're big fans of How I Met Your Mother.
I've seen a bunch of episodes. It's funny. It's just like
I don't
if you're
get
in the
into
mood
those
for
shows,
this,
you know?
like those
Yeah.
that network sitcom, right? The last great network sitcom was Friends. I think that's enjoyable for almost everyone. But then How I Met Your Mother, there's some parts that I'm like, this feels weird. I don't like it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it enough. This is going to sound bougie of me, but whatever. It's one of those shows that I've seen, like if I've been in Mexico or the Dominican Republic and you turn on the TV.
Esta noche.
Yeah, exactly. I've talked about it before. Esta noche, yo ni de.
No, ni idea.
And it's like the only English speaking show on. So I've watched like Big Bang Theory and shit like that. And I've been like, you know what? I've talked a lot of shit on this. I can see why people watch it. I'm not going to watch 187 episodes. of this
It's
stuff.
easy to watch. It's easy to understand. It
Yeah.
does. It's like a popcorn movie. It doesn't require you to think at all or really
Yeah.
even pay attention. It's very formulaic, and
The laugh track really helps you know that, there
It's
was
funny.
a joke there.
And it's kind of progressed, right? Back when Seinfeld did it, it was great television. Friends did it, pretty great television. Then it kind of went to like How I Met Your Mother. It's pretty good, but a little formulaic and hacky. And then we have Big Bang Theory, which is total hack. It's just totally hacky. It's not difficult. The writing is Chuck Lorre shows are just kind of like that now.
Yeah.
Like 2.5 Men was good.
Chuck Norris shows.
I would watch another Chuck Norris show.
Well, all he does is infomercials. But.
And in case you guys were wondering, that was not him at the insurrection. It was just a man who looked almost identical to him.
Yeah. Oh, no, he's in Hawaii fucking working on his abs by Jesus fucking machine or
He's
whatever.
90, bro. He's 90.
I know. I saw an infomercial, though. I think I brought this up on the pod.
He always has his wife on him now.
him and his wife, and he's like, oh, I'm just doing this thing. And
It's so awkward because he's just describing you at what he's feeling as he's working. It's like, oh, yeah, that's, I just move my elbows like this. You get that nice deep burn right in your chest, right in the pectoral area. And it's like, what? What are you doing? Why just sell the fucking product?
After this, I'm going to go apply another round of orange hair dye so I still look like I'm 74.
And it's time for Specs and Deets.
Yes, indeed.
Runtime. 129 minutes. This movie should not have been any 1 minute longer than an hour 45.
Yeah, I will say, though, to its credit, when I saw that it was 130 minutes or whatever,
I thought it was going to be 90 minutes. I was pissed off.
That's what I thought, too.
I was pissed
thinking
off.
maybe at the most 100. But then it was like, fuck, this is going to take a while. And while a lot of it could have, not a lot, but they could definitely have shaved off 20
15 minutes?
15,
Absolutely.
20 minutes.
Absolutely.
I still was surprised how well paced it was, and like, I upon my first viewing of it, it's like I was into it enough that it didn't really matter how long it was because I was just enjoying the ride.
If I was going to cut something, I would cut out a lot of the preamble to like them being in class before they decide to join up with the Federation.
I'd cut out the entire arena football scene.
Unnecessary. Well, that introduces that character that it ends up being what's her face's flight
but you
instructor.
could have introduced him in some other way.
It was a stupid.
It was
scene.
a very long scene, and there's the callback where she's like, "Do the 306 flip or whatever." But still,
You could easily take out 50 minutes. This
Yeah.
movie. Budget, $105 million in '97. This was a big budget movie.
$105 million.
Yeah. Well, look at this. The CGI for '97 was fantastic.
But geez, I just was not expecting it to be. That's like fucking
Triple figure millions.
Yeah, that's a lot. I would have. Yeah.
That's an Avengers movie.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. With inflation, it's pretty much in game. Mm-hmm. That's probably high, but you know what I'm saying.
No, I think you're right. Opened at $22 million.
Fuck.
Grossed $54.8 million domestically, $121 million globally. So this movie about broke even.
Yeah. Well, with marketing, maybe not, but still.
About broke even. They made 4 others. So
yeah, I guess so.
Something tells me the budget wasn't $100 million.
It got a cult following, though, like you said.
It did. It did. Plot keywords.
I kind of get the cult following, too.
I get it.
I'm kind of upset that I'm 30 years old and I'm just now watching this movie.
Yeah,
I'm late to the party.
When it came out, I would have been 8 or 9.
Yeah, you said November 7th, 97?
November 11th, 97.
So I had just turned 7 years old.
So I was 9. Okay, yeah. Plot keywords. Number 1, space war. Number 2, giant insect. Number 3, cult film. Number 4, propaganda. Totally. And number 5, violence, which, yeah, of course. We'll talk about it, but the gore in this movie was fucking savage.
I'm surprised there was no full frontal female nudity or...
There wasn't. Probably if you scroll down, it wasn't in the top 20.
Okay.
Which, go figure.
Go figure.
I don't know.
It just a lot of time that shows up in these plot keywords.
And times, even when there's not full frontal nudity,
exactly.
it shows up.
There definitely was in this one.
Rear male nudity would have been a perfect movie for that.
Exactly. That's the one I was thinking of.
Okay, taglines. There were so many. There were like 12. I wrote down 4 that I thought were pretty good. Number 1, love this one. Forget the insecticide, bring the nukes.
I didn't like that.
That's good.
That's good.
Number 2, you can't step on these ones.
All right.
It's fine.
Yeah. They do show the kids crushing the cockroaches in one of those propaganda
Were you
films,
oddly
though.
upset by watching that? Because I was. I was like, oh, it's kind of gross watching the mom be like, yeah.
I thought it was funny. Yeah.
I mean,
it would be upsetting.
it's clearly
if it was really
satire on propaganda. I get that, but it's still kind
We
of
all
upsetting.
need your help.
Number 3, mankind just became an endangered species.
Yeah.
And the last one I wrote down is the only good bug is a dead bug.
That's okay. I like the first two.
There's a couple of, because the last one's the first two are great. The last one is just a line from the film, and there were so many other better lines from the film that they could have used. I wrote one down. We'll get to it later. But yeah, just overall, because there were so many, there's a few good ones. I liked them.
Yeah.
All right, now it's time for that canopsis. Give us your canopsis. Cannabis Keenan.
In the year 2100 something, humanity is at war with extraterrestrial bugs, and it's up to Johnny Rico and his pals to save the day in Super Troopers.
The attention to detail was fantastic on that, Keenan. That must have taken you 25, 30 minutes to write?
I mean, what the fuck? So it's like, all right, we followed him all the way through. Here's the real synopsis right here. We start off, Johnny Rico in
starts off as like
school,
a coming to age film,
some kind of weird high school thing. He's banging Denise Richards. She wants to bang, or Dizzy wants to bang him. Anyway, there's a lot of weird
Dizzy's so hot
stuff going on, and then they all join up to try to be citizens in some weird future version.
Yeah, he signed up to be in this.
They're fighting bugs.
He signed up for the Federation just because this girl he liked it, and it was just like, big.
Yeah, he got a 35% on his maths. He's a stupid asshole, so he had to go be a.
He's a lughead. He's a big dumb
grunt, you know.
Yeah, no, he had to be in the infantry. And if we know anything about the infantry, if you know anything about Nam, not great.
Oh, dude, there's so much like. Yeah, this movie is actually way smarter than I thought it was going to be.
I know it is. The director or whoever wrote it did a great job satirizing the whole propaganda thing, and it just honestly, man, watching this now, it hits a little too close to home.
Well, so like the scene where him and when they're all signing up to join the Federation.
Let's do it real quick. Hey,
right.
It's time for the Real Buzz Rundown. And please continue, Keenan.
Well, the scene when him, Denise Richards, and Neil Patrick Harris, so Johnny, Carmen, and Carl.
I want to see the galaxy, Mom.
Yeah, they're all signing up, and they're Carl gives his papers, and the guy's like missing a hand, and he's missing an arm, and he's like, "I'll have to salute you next time I see you." And looks at Denise Richards. She's like, "I'm going to be a pilot." And he's like, "Oh, I bet your queef smell good." And, gives her on the way. And then the other guy, Johnny's like, "Yeah, I'm the infantry." He's like, "Infantry made me who I am, son." And he shows him
he's
his
missing
arm,
3 limbs.
missing his limbs. And it's like, fuck.
So what's the deal? They had a bionic arm. They couldn't make bionic legs.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that.
It was weird because I read this in the trivia. It's not part. That guy's really missing his legs, that actor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, real thing.
Well, maybe he doesn't wear his bionic legs when he's sitting at his desk job. Maybe they hurt him or something.
Okay.
So he's like, I don't really need him at my desk job. I don't know.
Okay. I mean, I think that's ridiculous, but sure.
They also have some kind of weird Star Wars Luke Skywalker bring you back to life technology in a fucking bathtub type thing.
Oh, yeah, that was weird.
So why can't they just regrow his leg?
Yeah, they were regrowing all the flesh on his knee after he got stabbed by one of the bugs, and it was just like he was in that tank by himself underwater for 3 days. That sounds horrifying. Knock me the fuck out. Put me out. Give me propofol. Put me out. I don't care. Give me anything that's going to put me out for 3 days. I don't want to be awake for any of that.
Yeah.
First of all, boring as shit.
Oh, yeah.
3 days just sitting in a tank full of, I don't know, God knows what kind of juice while this weird, like, robotic thing recreates my flesh. It's very strange.
You can't even go swimming, really. It's a small little pond that you're in. Mm-hmm. Everyone's just walking by looking at you.
And they're waking you up. It's like, dude, I'm trying to get through this. Leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah. You want to kiss the glass, maybe work it. Anyway.
What was whenever they were doing the dissection of the bugs in whatever science class or whatever that was, what was with that instructor's glasses? She had like Ray Charles glasses on. Was she blind or something?
Yeah, I don't know.
She had a cane or something. I don't know. It was a weird choice. I guess it's sci-fi. I thought it was a weird costume choice, but maybe not for sci-fi.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the football game earlier, if you want to call it that. It looked like a mix between arena football. So here's my thoughts about this. It's supposed to be a futuristic version of football. Why do they look like they're playing like they're in the same gear the Leatherheads wore in the 40s? Like you would think they would have some sort of equipment that was futuristic, not like just 90s, like dripping 90s, 40s era shit.
Yeah, I think because you had to see those actors' faces,
Ooh, great point.
But really, there was only the two of them, and there's been several football movies that before that where you can tell who the actor is if they're wearing a helmet. So, I don't know if that really holds up.
I do like how
I thought they could have done a lot better. Spend some CG on not a fucking high school gym and an arena football thing. But whatever.
It looked like arena football. It looked like it was like a 50-yard deal. And I liked how they incorporated gymnastics into it quite a bit. That was interesting.
Thought that was weird. Yeah, I was
They're
like,
doing
yeah, the flips
all over
are
the field.
super.
Yeah, it's like they're out jumping off a vault or something. I mean, are we to believe that these humans are evolved to a point where they're more athletic than we are now? Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
They don't ever address it, though. They're just out there doing all these acrobatic aerial shit, and you're just like, what? You're not going to even bring up why he has the ability to jump 7 feet in the air?
Yeah,
no?
and do that
in full pads,
triple-double
in
or
cleats?
whatever.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Full pads and cleats.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. I wrote down the flips were a little stupid.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was a choice, and I don't think it made it look cooler. I think it made it look less believable and stupid.
Mm-hmm.
The whole, I don't understand the motivation behind, other than the propaganda, which I guess is powerful, why you'd ever sign up to be in the service, especially in the infantry. Like, what's the upside? Especially when you're already got into Harvard and it's paid for.
This is where I think that. So I had never seen this movie, and you had never seen it before. We've already said that, but I'd always wanted to see it as a kid. I thought it was going to be just some kind of silly satire spoof of sci-fi.
I thought it was going to be a B movie.
Yeah,
It's not.
I was expecting something like Attack or Mars Attacks.
Yeah.
But then when they're talking about, it starts off with a propaganda reel already, and it's like, man, that's interesting. And anytime those propaganda reels came back throughout the movie, I always really enjoyed those parts. But to answer the question of
they
why
upset
they do
me.
the
They
thing,
bothered me. But I think it's just recency bias with what's gone on in our country.
Right.
It really bothered me. Like, it upset me.
I mean, I get why it would upset you, but just looking at it from a movie perspective and thinking it was going to be something really stupid,
Yeah,
I
if I
thought that
could-
was a really smart thing that they were doing.
It was, and if I could actually compartmentalize
more?
and not, like,
And it came out in 97, and they're showing little 30-second clips, and it's like, do you want to see more? And it's like, how the fuck did they
like,
know this
are
was
you
gonna
interested?
happen?
Yeah, there's the algorithm.
In 97.
yeah,
But they also make a big deal about being a citizen, and if you're not a part of the
which
Federation...
they don't explain what a citizen is.
They never do a good job of explaining that, but it's shown that you
What are the
want to
advantages
be
of being a citizen?
I don't fucking know. You get to go travel around space.
You can just
and
brag, I'm a citizen. Like a
You probably get
citizen?
to vote and stuff like that. I don't know.
You do get to vote. That said,
Yeah.
which vote for what? And it's a universe.
But
it's a galaxy.
this is where like if you study history, like we're taken for granted in America that you're just in this day you're born here and you're a citizen.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
Back throughout history, you had to own land to be. Even in America, you had to be a landowning. You had to be a white man that owned land to be a citizen.
Even immigrants
So it's
now
a big thing
have to do a lot of stuff to be a citizen.
I think just that's kind of one of those ancient Greece, ancient Rome. Not everybody was citizens of the country, or of the state.
So you think it was more of a status thing?
I
Almost?
think it's a status thing. It's like here I am. I've rose from nothing to now I can be a citizen if I join the Federation.
Yeah, and
Which is something that the Romans did. Like join the Roman army, you'll be a citizen because they wanted to pad their army.
Yeah. So these ideas that this director is satirizing are obviously not new. They've been around since the beginning of human beings. And I think my problem with me is, and this is just, it's all too new for me. I think I was just projecting my own bullshit. I'm like, oh God, like it honestly just stressed me out. I was like, well, I was just fucking crazy.
I thought I just was really shocked at the overall themes of this movie based on me thinking it was going to be Mars Attacks. Like, it's like, God damn, this movie's really intelligent.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
The writing is smart.
It's still cheesy, and it's still not
I
like
think
a
that's-
fantastic movie, but it's thought provoking. It made some strong emotions for you.
Oh, it did. It really did.
Yeah.
And I just, the forward thinking that, because, so to a little bit of backstory, this director grew up in Nazi occupied Finland. So he experienced this growing up, which is why he decided to, make a movie about it to try to show people like, no, this type of communication and propaganda happens, and it's really effective.
Yeah.
When it happens on a national level or at a high leadership level. And I think obviously we've seen the exact same fucking thing play out the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me a lot like 1984,
Yeah.
and normally I'd just be like, oh, this is great, but no, it was just it's like a little the wound is still a little fresh for me. So I'm like, oh God, it's amazing how well this movie forward thought, and even though it's happened in the past, but they're like, well, this could happen again, and it did. So
Yeah.
fuck me, what do you know? All right, back to being funny. So basically, he signed up to be in the Federation because he was just putting the pussy on the pedestal and then just got dumped. like a month in.
Yeah, and what was up with, I don't know. So apparently it's not that great of a thing to be a citizen because his parents are just.
You're like, what the fuck you want to be a citizen
His
for?
dad's such a douchebag, I thought.
But he's not wrong.
Yeah, I guess so. You're going to go to Harvard. And you know what? Instead of doing that, go on vacation. I just thought his dad was such a fucking weirdo.
It's normally the opposite. It's normally like the kid wants to do something.
Go on vacation.
And
or
it's like,
something,
you're
yeah.
going to the military.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably that weird teacher's idea, huh? What's his name? You know the one. Razchek. Even a silly name. It's just like, hey, you're a fucking weirdo,
stupid
dad.
name.
Yeah.
And obviously, the allusion to the Nazi party in here is not subtle at all. Their uniforms look very Nazi-like. Their insignia even kind of
It's
resembles
like an eagle thing, yeah.
Yeah, it resembles Nazi type of symbols. Not quite a swastika, but still, it was swastika adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess that makes a lot of sense, knowing that he grew up in Finland, Nazi-occupied Finland. All right, we can move on to Denise Richards, how she's a complete fucking hoe in this movie.
You know what's funny is that just going down my notes, that's the next note I have. I said that she's not a very good actress, and then I said I kind of hate her in this and her character.
I don't think she's a bad actress. I think she's an actor. I think she did a fine job.
She doesn't emote very well, but she is a hoe for show in this movie.
Well, she just sends so many mixed signals between the two guys. Like, she keeps giving Xander the fuck me eyes, but she's also still dating Rico, and then she's like, Daddy's not home tonight. Like, she whispers that in the ear.
Oh,
like,
Johnny Rico, are you jealous? My daddy is not home tonight. And that's what I'm just saying. Like, she has the same face
maybe I'm
throughout the entire movie.
maybe
She's got no emotions.
maybe I'm partial to her acting because I enjoy looking at her so much. Like
What do you mean?
It's really hard to take my eyes off the screen when her face is in frame. I know it's like, but wow, she is, and it goes past just like natural, like just regular beauty. I enjoyed watching her, looking at her. She's photogenic.
It goes into creepy territory.
A little
What it
bit,
goes into.
maybe a little bit.
It hurts me to watch her on the screen and not have her skin.
I like to, I like to watch her from my car outside of her house.
Charlie Sheen.
I don't care what the restraining order says. I can come within 10 feet of her.
No, I thought she did a terrible job. She does better by The World Is Not Enough. Thought she was great in that.
Dr. Christmas Jones.
Yeah, I thought Christmas only comes once a year.
It's a great line.
That is.
It's a fantastic line.
Pierce Brosnan, good Bond. Not the
Yeah,
best, but he's a good
underrated.
Bond.
I'd say underrated. I think we took him for granted.
Yeah, well, he's the one I grew up with, you know.
Well, the problem with the Pierce Brosnan Bond is it's not his performance. He was just in some poorly written Bond films.
Yeah, GoldenEye is great, but he was
Fantastic.
also the Bond when CG became like a big thing. So his swan song, or his last movie with
Was it Die Another Day?
yeah, with just the whole ice pad, and he's windsurfing on a giant CG.
It's
fucking-
ridiculous.
Yeah, that's not his fault.
No, Pierce did a great job. What do you think's the number one Pierce James Bond movie?
I think GoldenEye.
I think so too. I think it's far and away the best one.
I think pretty much the order that they came out in are my.
They kind of got slightly worse as they went. Yeah.
Tomorrow Never Dies should be my favorite one because that's the first Bond I ever saw. I remember seeing it in theaters and falling in love with James Bond.
Also hits on how the media can affect.
Yeah.
That's these themes. They come up in
These
films.
They come up. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Denise Richards. There you go.
Yeah, I said, glad the famous Busey teeth didn't stop with Gary.
Yeah, and he had some good lines. I think the one quote that I wrote down, because I tried not to write down too many quotes, but when he's like, "Who needs a knife in a nuke fight, anyways?"
That's my
You
next
just
note.
press the button.
That's my next note. I have that should. This when I said this should have been a tagline. Who needs a knife in a nuke fight should have been a tagline.
Yeah.
That's a much better tagline than the last two I read.
That was good, and I thought the little mini nukes they had were pretty cool. You know?
I know, like
Yeah.
little nuke grenades.
Yeah, nuke 'em. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, nuke 'em? But then they
Nuke
shot him
nades.
out. I was like, yeah.
Nuke nades.
And then when Clancy Brown actually threw that knife through his hand, not like actually in real life, but in the movie.
He basically plays the exact same character he played in Shawshank Redemption, but just as like militarized version. He's
Yeah.
just such an asshole, and he's so violent, and he's like, yeah.
I didn't think he was such an asshole. He rips up the paper so that way Rico can
That's
come back
true.
in the army.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
promotes Rico.
He has more redeeming qualities in this movie than he did in Shawshank, for
Yeah.
sure. His character, he's fine, I'm sure, but his characters. Which brings us to let's talk about it. The co-ed shower scene.
Oh yeah.
Oh, my titties!
Not the titty drop I thought it was.
I didn't know what the fuck you were doing there. I thought it was going to be like a bow, chicka, bow, bow.
Yes, it is. It's a bit nipply out. I mean nippy out. What did I say? Nipple?
And it's just, I wrote down, I'm like, it's kind of weird that the men and women shower together. And then I wrote, or is it awesome?
I think it's much more, progressive. Free the nipple.
Co-ed showers?
Yeah, free the balls.
I don't know, man. I think men already feel like they have a license to fuck women whenever they want. Like if you were in a shower with them naked together, like that probably would. I guess if you're in a group, maybe like there'd be this mentality like, well,
it didn't seem to bother any of them at all.
it seemed like they thought it was very normal.
Yeah, and it didn't seem like the dudes were like, check out their tits, and the chicks were like, look at his balls.
Yeah, they just saw each other.
They were just hanging out.
Almost genderless. Like I'm just saying, man. If I were in that situation, how many dudes would be popping boners with people like Dizzy getting in there, bringing those titties out? I would be popping boners.
Busting them titties out. Well, that's why you wouldn't be invited to the co-ed shower.
Well, I don't think you're invited, man. I think it's just mandated. I think there's this shower area.
You have to shower. That's what they all do. Yeah, I had heard about that shower scene.
I would definitely be the fucked up cool guy who could not get a boner, and then be, come on, Rob, can't you just wash and get out of here? Be like, what? What do you want from me?
What do you want? What do you want? You got a shower in the corner over there, Rob.
Dizzy's looking real good. I can't hide this. What am I supposed to do? But
man, she had that love for what's his name though, for Johnny Rico. I don't think anybody else was getting dizzy besides Johnny Rico.
Which I don't understand that. Like he was just blowing her off the entire movie, and then they finally fuck one time. And it's after Denise Richards is like, no, I'm going career. Just don't bother.
Yeah. After she's already had a couple charge moments with Xander.
After the whole time you can tell, like it's one of those relationships where he's way more into her than she's into him, and you can tell.
Oh yeah, I love you, and she just doesn't say it, and he's like, just say it once, try it on for size. At the time, I felt so bad for him. It's like Johnny Rico, you're a good-looking guy, and Dizzy is throwing herself at you.
Yeah, dude,
stand up for your rights as a man.
It goes back to that. Men like the chase. We don't like thirsty bitches. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so. But
and we can be clear. Dizzy was a thirsty bitch.
She was definitely thirsty. She was
thirsty.
Throwing herself at him.
She literally told him she loved him after the first time they fucked.
It was too easy. And I noticed he didn't say it back to her.
No, he didn't, because he doesn't.
Yeah, because she was just, well, I don't know. So I wrote down a whole thing. At a certain point, my notes go to all Dizzy notes. Because I said, you know what? I'm Team Dizzy all the way.
I love Dizzy.
Yeah, because this whole Twilight, Team Edward, Team Jacob, I've still never seen a Twilight movie, but I remember the T-shirts.
Oh, yeah.
And I would wear a Team Dizzy T-shirt.
I'm Team Dizzy,
he should have been with Dizzy from the start, man.
Dizzy, like, a couple things about Dizzy. She seems like Denise Richards kind of has that more of a good girl vibe where she's like, oh, I'd like normal penetration, missionary style. But then, like, Dizzy,
I'm not going to give you head.
Yes, why do I have to put your penis in my mouth? But like Dizzy's like, dude, shoved in my ass. Let's go.
Yeah, Dizzy's
down to fuck, ready to go. Also very fun, athletic, attractive. I'm Team Dizzy all day too.
Yeah,
she's not gonna freak out when you're like, hey, will you put your finger in my ass? She's gonna be like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, and he sends that message.
She'll probably do it without you even asking. She'll just know.
Yeah, she'll just know.
Yeah, she'll just know.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, and with Denise Richards, he writes her, which is the video diary or whatever, when everyone's just partying in the barracks, and that seemed like a good time. I'd hang out there.
Oh, great, yeah.
And then she sends back her video that she sends him back is so weird. She like starts camera and sees way too far back, and then she's like, "Here I am. Yeah, I'm glad you wrote me. I love you so much.
Look how beautiful this is."
And then she's in front of Jupiter all of a sudden. She's like, which is why I cannot be with you anymore.
She really buries the lead.
Yeah, absolutely.
If she shouldn't have led him on with a 5-minute video about how everything inside was big. And also, I've decided to make a career out of this, which doesn't leave much room in my life for you.
Right. At that point right there. And she's like, write me back. We can still be friends.
Write me
like,
okay.
I'm not writing you back, bitch.
Take it from
I'm going to wait till I'm drunk, and I'll write you back at that point in time.
Take it from someone who's been divorced. You say you're going to be friends, then you get divorced or you break up, and then you're not friends until you find out she's fucking a guy that looks just like you. Then you text her drunk at 3:30 in the morning. That's how it happens.
That's real life.
Yeah, that's real life. I wouldn't know anything about that specifically.
Yeah,
but that's real life.
That's a hypothetical.
That's completely hypothetical. Yeah. I know nothing about it.
But that's when Jake Busey, again, not a douchebag in this movie, Funny how they still want to be friends after they've ate your guts or ripped your guts out or whatever.
I totally
It's
thought
like,
he was going to fuck with him and be like, oh, dude.
yeah, you're such a bitch. No, at that point when he's like there to comfort him, I'm like, oh, Jake Busey's all right.
So, and here's another Jake Busey thing that I don't know why I started laughing hysterically, but I started laughing hysterically when he starts playing the violin.
Oh, yeah.
It's so funny.
So, since we're talking about the Dizzy relationship, whenever they join up with the lieutenant and, after...
Remember when they're dancing?
Yeah, when they're dancing. Well, so the lieutenant gets them all gifts that they want. Here's the beer, and then I got you this fucking neon green violin, and they're dancing, and he
It's an
just
electric
shows up in
violin.
there.
Again, it's funny because it's Gary Busey's son.
Yeah.
And he's playing a violin and he has a face of a serial killer and he's, I don't know, a foot away from them and just like giving this creepy
Yeah, just
fucking,
like you guys are finally going to get fucking
it's like,
down.
you're trying to fuck, right? I'm
Yeah.
gonna play this violin. I'm gonna set the mood, and it's hilarious.
Yeah,
I
it was
laughed
very
hysterically.
good. It was very good. And also shout out to him because at one point he's like, I'm going to be squad leader. So you think that's going to be like the rivalry thing.
Yeah, you think they're going to be like they're going to have this adversarial relationship until something happens to where they realize they have to grit it out and work
Yeah.
together and have that kind of thing, and then they're bonded because of it. That's not it at all.
That's not it at all. And he becomes squad leader at one point, which we'll get to in depth. I
Shat-
want to go to that
yeah,
at a
shat his
certain
pants.
point. But then, whenever at the, towards the end, when Rico gets promoted to corporal or lieutenant or whatever, and he's like,
Whatever the
I'm gonna need a
15
squad leader.
ranks he had in
Yeah.
3 weeks.
And Jake Busey's like, nope, did that once. Don't want to do it again. I fucked it up.
What's funny about that is that obviously Dizzy's the most capable soldier of any of them.
Oh, yeah.
She's looked over twice, even after Jake Busey completely shits the bed at being squad leader. Like, Rico's like, oh, I need a squad leader. And he's like, what?
I'll go with you, though, Jake Busey.
And like Izzy's standing right there. Sorry, Dizzy's standing right there next to him. He's like, it's like, what are you doing? Dizzy's so much more qualified for the job. What are you doing? And then he's like, okay, well, Dizzy, you're my second choice. What do you think? She's like, sure.
Yeah, fine. I want to fuck you, so yes.
Okay.
She was, she did have unhealthy love probably for unrequited love.
Unrequited is the perfect example of that.
But
Unrequited.
after she died, I do think Rico was actually in love with her by the time she died. I think he, at least that's what I was hoping.
I think as she died in his arms, he understood.
What she wanted to be a citizen. I don't know.
No.
It changed him.
It did. It did. He finally understood that I've been chasing something that might be unattainable while this thing that's right next to me is just as good.
Yeah.
And that's part of the human condition. We do that shit. And I think he finally realized, oh, I could have just been happy with you. Like
Yeah.
I was infatuated with this
Denise Richards.
Denise Richards.
Like Robbie was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, when I was outside of her house. That's still one of my favorite jokes. Like the person who used to be like really pretty and got ugly. She went from Denise Richards to Keith Richards.
That's a good one.
It's a
Yeah.
funny joke. Where was I? Fuck, I lost my train of thought.
Well, let me say real quick, maybe that's one of the biggest compliments I can give to this movie is that I care, I don't give a shit about romance in any movie, but I'm fighting for the Johnny Rico and Dizzy romance in this movie,
That death scene was pretty gut-wrenching.
It was pretty, yeah, when she dies, it's like, fuck.
Which is weird because a lot of their other friends die throughout the film, and it's just kind of like, well, that happens.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but she had a funeral, and
Oh, yeah.
and she had that really dramatic death scene where she died in his arms.
Well, she has such a moment of triumph when she throws that grenade perfectly in that fucking bug's mouth, and then
Yeah.
she's like, woohoo, dancing around, just gets fucked up.
Yeah, which is another thing. I'm not saying she would have lived had they not done this because it's a movie and it's fictional and it's irrelevant, but I'm not sure it's the smartest thing to like take the spear part of the bug and just rip it out of her. I think maybe you want to.
Yeah, I thought that
you
too.
probably want to
You
leave
leave
that
it in.
until a medical professional can assess what to do because you're going to bleed out.
That's, yeah, from the movies I've watched, you don't want to pull the knife out, the arrow out.
No.
you
Leave it in.
That'll fuck you
They'll
up.
do that in surgery
Yeah.
where they can control the bleeding.
Yeah.
Adjacent.
Mike, you douche.
Yeah, this goes back to the volunteering for infantry. I don't see an upside, especially if you fuck up and want to stay in, they go all Django Unchained on your ass.
Well, I will say, so the shower scene, which is probably where we started getting off on the Disney tangent, but shout out to whoever the guy is that's the writer, and he's like, well, why'd you join? And why'd you join?
Yeah.
So they all had some kind of motivation, you know?
But infantry, yeah, that's true. One guy wanted to go to Harvard because couldn't afford it. Another guy was like, well, I just didn't want to be a farmer. Well, you're a fucking idiot. You should have been a farmer.
So that farmer guy, have you seen Major League 2?
Yeah, I know.
He's the catcher in Major League 2.
He is.
Yeah. And I thought he was going to be it through
He has that same dopey character.
Exactly. He's
Yeah.
a farmer. Pretty much anything he's in, he's probably a farmer.
He's just dopey.
And he gets fucked in the face. When he got shot in the head, I was like, oh my God. In the training.
Yeah, training up with
exercise.
live ammunition.
Yeah.
I think the propaganda videos, which we've talked about, we don't have to go over it again, frighteningly weird, kind of make me take sides with the arachnids to an extent. I was like, you know what, fuck us. What are we doing? Like, well, not we, like I'm a part of it, but what is the human race doing? I mean, like I said, hits a little close to home with today's political climate. And the kids squashing the roaches and with their mom like cheering about it, like I get it, it's roaches, but it's still fucking weird.
Well, and it goes back to the first, the Federal Network ad at the beginning of the movie when they're like, we need all hands on deck. And he's like, I'm join, or I'm ready. And then there's the little kid that's
All right,
I'm ready.
SpongeBob.
And then they're all like, because the little kid steps
Yeah,
out. So right from then on, I guess from that moment I was like, I know what this movie kind of is. But I was texting Sam at the beginning. I was like, I can't tell if this movie is taking itself seriously or if it's straight satire.
It does
and
walk
I
that
still
line.
don't fucking know.
I don't know either. It
Like,
walks that line.
I think it does a great job of not being too serious, but also raises some fucking interesting thoughts.
Sorry, random side note about South Park, that the ha 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 thing, maybe the thing about when they go, when the Native Americans have the casino and there's that Native American comedian in the Native American casino's amphitheater, not amphitheater, it's like their theater or whatever,
Yeah.
the room. And every time he tells a joke, which is obviously Native American centric and very stereotypical, they go ha 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 ha.
God damn it.
It's just so like that's the thing. South Park gets away with this shit. Like obviously that would never fly.
Yeah.
They're just grandfathered in because like, oh no, we make fun of literally everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone.
They don't pull any punches.
No.
No.
Anyone and everyone.
Against anyone.
Fair
Yeah.
game. But that and also, being honest, great joke.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Very funny.
Okay. I enjoyed the fact that the bugs use, quote, bright ass shit missiles for anti-aircraft weaponry.
I thought that was cool too, because when I hate the flight squad, the entire flight squad, fucking all a bunch of jabronis as far as I'm
For
concerned.
sure.
Xander from the start, you know, even the captain of the ship, that lady that's like, because we have the best flight team or whatever. I'm like,
Luck
yeah.
had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, which her death is pretty brutal too when she gets fucked up.
Dude.
Yeah, but
Like sawed in half.
oh fuck, I lost my train of thought talking about the flight squad sucking ass. What did you literally just say?
I enjoyed the fact that the bugs use bright ass shit missiles for anti-aircraft weaponry.
So as the flight squad's coming in, it's like a Star Wars type looking scene with, you know, and it's like a view from the Empire too.
It is.
It's not like
Very Star Wars
'cause they
vibes.
have, those big ass things. And you see those missiles coming up, and I did think, well, what the fuck how are the bugs shooting these anti-aircraft
Out of their
things?
assholes.
And then you see the gigantic fucking lightning bugs, shitting out whatever.
Well-
I thought that was cool.
I mean, think of the amount of force they'd have to thrust from their anus to get them to go into outer space. Like, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, but they're big ass fucking bugs.
They are
man.
large.
Yeah.
They're very large.
You see their bellies all glowing up. That was good CG.
It was. I was very
I mean,
impressed.
yeah.
I was $100 million makes sense because I was very impressed by the night. Like we've watched other movies from '95 that had horrendous CG with half the budget. So yeah, I mean the CG was around in '97. You just had to have
Budget did not
$100 million to make it look decent.
Yeah, did not go to the directors or the talent. It went to
No,
the talented.
Who's the biggest actor in this
CGI
movie at the
people.
time? Like who's the guy commanding a salary? No one. Jake Busey? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean not Neil Patrick Harris
No,
really at the time.
Maybe he was the only guy. I don't know who was known before that.
Dean Norris.
No, it wasn't Dean Norris.
Yeah, there's no big name in this really at the time anyway.
So when they first invade whatever planet that is that the bugs are on, and they just get completely eviscerated because they have to fire 1,000 rounds into a bug for it to die, Jaws came to me, and I thought, we're going to need some bigger guns.
Yeah, I wrote down, why don't they have like flamethrowers or some shit? Like anything. Clearly that ammunition's not working. And they did say we underestimated the bugs.
No,
we
I
didn't
know, but you didn't have enough. This is not a new enemy. You haven't done enough recon to know that your weapons were going to be this ineffective. Like, how have they not tweaked either their battle strategy or developed a more efficient weapon for killing these bugs? Because the amount of times you have to I mean, it's not even fucking close. You have to shoot, I don't know, conservatively 100 rounds into this thing.
And I guess like when they're playing laser tag, it's just like laser tag.
Also,
but they have some kind of laser technology. So if they had laser guns, I feel like that
just
would
saw them in half.
Yeah, exactly. Literally anything besides the same bullets that we have today.
I would say they were losing 10 men for every one bug in that scene, probably, at least. Maybe more, maybe 20. I don't know.
Or just keep flying your fucking planes over when you see the bugs, because they do fucking drop bombs on them at one point.
It is a little ridiculous when you see, like, oh, when they just napalm those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
It's like, no men have to die doing that. But that, I don't know.
And the flying bug, they did show there's flying bugs, but they didn't take out the planes. They just took out one guy.
The flying bugs with razor wings that decapitate people, those are terrifying.
Yeah, but they didn't take down the planes.
No, they did not.
So why not just keep fucking dropping bombs on them with the planes?
Yeah.
Drone strikes,
Oh, wow. I can't believe that. I think I only have one more thing to talk about. We went through everything. We need to talk about the 40 ranks that all of these people went through in a matter of a year and a half.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got Neil Patrick Harris is a colonel. He's been in, again, I know he's psychic and really smart or whatever, but he became a colonel in a year and a half. And Rico went from being a squad leader to quitting to coming back and becoming a corporal, then sergeant, then lieutenant in like a fucking week.
Yeah.
And I get it. It was mostly out of necessity because people died. But Jesus Christ, man, that guy really rose the ranks at an unprecedented rate.
Yeah. Yeah, he moved up real fast. And then Clancy Brown demoted himself so he could go be the hero at the end. I also thought it was kind of cool. Shout out to them, like the climax of the movie is them rescuing Denise Richards pretty much, and somebody else entirely off screen actually captures the brain bug. I thought that was kind of
cool. Did we already talk about the disgusting gore and the brain bug and all that? And
I don't know.
What's his face getting scrambled?
At the bar, yeah. No, I don't think we talked about it here. The brain bug was disgusting.
Just real gross. So it just shoved that thing into his head and just started eating his brain. There were definite points in this movie when they came upon the base and saw all the dead bodies, and I was like, the gore is just. I'm not usually affected by gore all that much, but this was like it was all practical, right? There was no CGI with the gore, really. It was all pretty practical.
Yeah,
and it was gross.
It was very gross. But so with that scene with the
brain bug looked like a big yeasty vagina.
Before it showed up, though, whenever Xander and Denise Richards are sitting there and they're surrounded by bugs, and he like hands her the knife, it was so not discreet at all. I guess maybe these bugs aren't super intelligent, but it's like he's pretty much just like, hey, I'm giving this to her. I don't know. And then I had a bit of a problem with that.
Cuts off its, I don't know, brain-eating prick or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it was.
Christ,
it was a very vaginal looking mouth. That thing.
It looked like a yeasty old vag. It was like so it. A vag is disgusting, and this thing is disgusting. Like if it resembles like peeling a grilled cheese apart after you cook one.
Yeah,
like it's so gross.
Yeah,
like that's when it's like, oh, you might need to get this looked at. This is disgusting.
Yeah,
you can smell it before she takes. Oh, anyways, you have anything else?
No. So I mean, I didn't write too many notes down because I actually enjoyed this movie a lot more. I thought I was going to be able to make a lot of fun of this movie.
I like this. No, I thought so too.
But
it's a good movie.
It's a pleasant surprise. I really enjoyed it. The Dizzy death, the thing about Dizzy's death that bothered me is because they never really explained why Johnny Rico was pronounced KIA when they saved him and they were able to put him in this fucking Luke Skywalker bath and bring him back to life.
Clerical error?
So when Dizzy gets stabbed, I was like, oh, just take her back to the fucking thing that they put him in, and she'll be fine.
She was stabbed several times.
I guess so. Yeah, and he just kind of was in the leg. But still, I thought, maybe they'll be able to
non-lethal
save her.
spots, yeah.
So it affected me when she died. I was like, oh, no, not Dizzy.
And when it came down to it,
I like this movie.
Did he even really get with Denise Richards at the end?
I don't know. Did he go to her dad's house after the dance? I don't know. Her dad wasn't there.
I don't know. He definitely went to her dad's house after the dance. That happened, for sure.
Did they fuck?
Yeah, that's true. The only lady he fucked in this movie was Dizzy.
That's the only one you see.
I'm Team Dizzy, man. I agree with you.
Yeah, you
She's
drive
great.
me dizzy, Miss Lizzie.
Keenan, do you know what time it is?
Got up, boot with that.
It's time for Tipsy Trivia.
There she blows.
Would
That was
Calvin
good timing.
approve?
I think that was good timing.
I think Calvin
on
would
that
approve of that one.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for the portion of the podcast where we have 5 trivia-based questions from this film. If Keenan gets 3 of the 5 correct, I have to shotgun and he doesn't. If he gets less than 3 correct, he has to shotgun and I don't. But inevitably, we will all end up shotgunning. Number 1.
Nummer eins.
True or false? This is Paul Verhoeven's favorite film he ever directed.
Showgirls has to be his favorite. False.
It's true. Why would you think Showgirls? He probably hates
A
Showgirls.
lot of titties, man. I don't know.
Oh, that's a great point. Well, because he's filming a softcore porn.
Yeah. So this it was true. This is his favorite movie.
He's on record saying this is his favorite film he ever directed. And he directed some big films
Yeah,
like
Total
RoboCop,
Recall, you
Total
said?
Recall.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Right.
that's pretty interesting.
Okay.
Number 2, this movie was shot in the desert and the temperature averaged around 120 degrees during the day. Over under 24, how many cast and crew members were treated for a heat stroke daily?
Daily.
Daily. It was wild.
Over.
Over 25.
Jesus, man.
They had to halt production for a week because Jake Busey got such a bad heat stroke he had to be hospitalized for a week.
Really?
Yeah, it was something that had to do with their uniforms, obviously. I mean,
Well, yeah, that's big ass costumes in the desert like that.
So
Fuck.
they finally devised a way to cut holes strategically in the costumes so it didn't show up on camera, but they could actually be cool off.
Breathe.
wild.
Jeez.
Number 3, true or false? More ammunition was used in this movie than any other movie created before it.
True.
It is true.
All right.
The most, I don't know about movies after, like you look at like John Wick and stuff like that now, but yeah, this at the time in 97, this was the most live blank ammunition used in cinematic history.
Well, yeah, they're just blasting those guns left and right,
Yeah.
and they don't seem very effective.
No, they don't. It's like shooting a spit wad at a tank.
I wonder if like Saving Private Ryan took it though after.
That was 99.
Yeah. So, but not for 97.
I don't think so. I
Yeah,
don't think so. I would lean towards no.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I don't think so.
Probably not.
Number 4, which actor was considered for the role of Johnny Rico but turned it down? Was it A, Mark Wahlberg, B, Matt Damon, C, Leonardo DiCaprio, or D, Christian Bale?
Damn. Damn. What would this movie be had any one of those fuckers done this movie instead of Casper Van Diem?
Casper did a good job.
I think so too, but they all went on to be huge. Or what would they be if they had done this movie, I guess?
This movie would have made $50 million more had one of those 4 been in the title, like in the main character role.
I will say Marky Mark.
It was Mark Wahlberg.
Really? Mm-hmm. Damn.
I thought you might take the bait on Christian Bale.
No, see, he was my who was the second one?
Matt Damon, Leo DiCaprio.
I was thinking those two.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. But because back then, the reason why I thought Mark Wahlberg wasn't huge
Yeah,
yet.
but so they were trying to get him. Matt Damon wasn't huge
When
yet.
was Titanic? Was that 98?
I think that was 97 as well.
It was.
Yeah.
Okay, so Leo was big, but not. It could have been. Yeah. Okay. It could have been any of those guys.
Yeah.
97. Good Will Hunting came out. I think 97 too.
Yeah.
What a year for movies.
What a year. But I could see Marky Mark because like he wasn't a big movie star at that time, I don't think
I think he
necessarily, right?
just done Boogie Nights. Maybe.
Okay.
Just done Boogie Nights.
Okay.
But that was like
That's a
Basketball
good movie.
Diaries. Oh,
Yeah.
great movie.
Yeah.
That'd
He'd be
be-
still doing underwear ads though or whatever.
Yeah, he was still in the Funky Bunch.
Yeah.
Well, Marky Mark and the Funky. What if we did that? Like, what do you think that podcast would be like if we did Boogie Nights?
I don't know. It's a great movie. We could try it.
It's such a strangely great movie.
Yeah. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
It's fantastic.
Heather Graham.
Heather Graham is great. You got what's her name?
Burt Reynolds. Julianne Moore.
Julianne Moore. Thank
I didn't know you were going to say what's her name at first. But I said, yeah.
Burt Reynolds, never heard of her.
Yeah.
Okay, number 5. This is a good one. I like this one. A former president's son was cast in this movie. Which president? Was it A, Dick Nixon, B, Ronnie Reagan, C, Jerry Ford, or D, Jimmy Carter?
Oh, fuck. Nixon, Reagan, Carter, or who?
Ford.
Nixon?
It was Ford. Ford's kid. Jerry Ford's kid
Okay.
was cast in this movie. I
Who
thought
was
that was
he?
interesting. I should have written that down. Admittedly, I didn't. I just got so stoked about that being a question. I wrote it and then didn't. I should have had a follow-up like, oh, yeah, he played this guy.
He was probably, I'm going to assume he was the writer.
No, he was cast in the film.
I know, but there's a character that's the writer. When the guy in the shower that's like, "Hey man, I'm a writer." After I get out of here, I need to know what you're talking about.
Are you saying that because you think he looks like Gerald Ford?
No, I'm just assuming that because that's like the one character that has some screen time that I don't have any idea who it was.
Okay.
Because he goes and gets the tattoos with him
You know
and
what?
stuff.
We have the miracle of the internet.
Yeah.
Let's look this up here.
He gets the tattoos. He's asking those questions. He's in a few scenes.
Yeah, I do. I know exactly what you're talking about, and I
Who
hope
the fuck
that's who
is
it
this
is. Gerald
Ford's
Ford,
kid.
son, Starship Troopers. Stephen Ford. IMDb of Stephen Ford.
Stephen Ford.
It's a good name. It's a strong name. Oh, okay. Stephen Ford. Hold on here. He's been acting since 81.
Really?
He was in Happy Days.
So is he an old bastard?
Yeah, well, I mean, think about it.
He
Gerald
wouldn't
Ford.
be that guy that I was thinking he was.
Holy shit. He was in Heat. He was Officer
Oh.
Bruce in Heat. I don't know who that is.
Huh.
He's been in a ton of shit.
Huh. Well,
He was Joe in When Harry Met Sally. How the fuck is... I know... 96.
I'll have what she's having. That's that movie, right?
He's Lieutenant Willie.
I
don't know. I don't know.
All right.
Stephen Ford.
There you go.
Stephen Ford, Leon Nixon. Anyways.
Now you know. Mike, super short jump.
Drinking Buddies.
This is the portion of the podcast where we choose a character, not an actor, but a character from the film where we would get irresponsibly shit-faced, fucked up, shy-voed, if you will, and I will, with Keenan. Who's your drinking buddy for this movie?
A lot of good options.
A lot of options.
A lot of options.
A lot of
here.
options here.
I'm going to say Dizzy, though.
That was mine, too. I love
Yeah.
it. I have a really soft spot in my heart for Dizzy.
I do, too.
I love her. She's the best.
Either her or Jake Busey, I guess.
That was my second choice, too, is Jake Busey.
I would join the infantry, I guess, and just hang out with those guys.
You know what? I'll hang out with Ironside.
Who was that?
Oh, the fucking guy who's teaching at the beginning, and then they're in the...
Oh, okay. Raschek.
Yeah, Raschek.
Yeah.
I would fuck around with him in a couple of brews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heard your lieutenant's a real nut buster. Gets punched in the face. Shout out to Jake Busey. I'll take Jake Busey, and you can do Dizzy. And
We shit on Jake Busey for his serial killer face, but he really did a good job in this movie.
He did a great job in this movie.
I'm a fan of Jake Busey.
He had a heat stroke for this movie, so.
Yeah, man, and he only has $1.5 million.
Yeah.
He's I'll say it. He's undervalued.
Yeah.
Undervalued.
Make Jake Busey great again.
Okay. Madja?
Yeah.
Majba. Anyway.
Majba.
Majba. Time for Rotten Tomatoes over under. The critics, I will set at a 64% on Rotten Tomatoes for this film.
Under.
65%. Over. One over. Audience, I will set it a 69%.
Oh. I'll say over.
70% for the audience. IMDb was
7.2.
That's correct.
I did check this one because Amazon Prime.
Amazon. Mm-hmm. My Real Buzz ranking is 3.5 beers out of 5.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. The acting's not the best, but I had a good time in this movie. I don't know.
I enjoyed it.
Especially if you think it's going to be a shithole and it ends up being, a decent 2 hours.
I think that's part of the
Every
reason why some of these movies surprise us is because we do so many shitty movies, and if we expect one to be shitty and it's pretty good, like it's not bad,
Yeah.
we probably think it's good.
I would say maybe not since Baywatch have I thought that a movie was going to suck that I ended up enjoying.
I would agree
Like
with
this
that.
one.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
A lot of these I've seen before, too. So this one going in completely sight unseen. I was pleasantly surprised.
I agree. I was surprised pleasantly, and I'm not a big sci-fi guy, and I enjoyed this film, and I enjoyed everyone's performance. It would have been cool if Denise Richards was more like Dizzy and took her blouse off, but
But, we
that
didn't direct it.
was next year in Wild Things.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Well, Keenan, I think that about does it for us. Thank you again for listening to another edition of Real Buzz Takes. We are the Real Buzz 2. Keenan, take us out.
If you see any cockroaches, I guess step on them. We don't know what's going to happen, people.
This concludes our broadcast day.
That was not the right fucking thing.
Step on them.
We are the Real Buzz Crew, and we review the best of the worst for you.
This concludes our broadcast day.
Sharktopus.
Shark to dick. That was stupid.